Hello, and welcome to another Blue Jays podcast that doesn't exist. I'm happy to be joined by my friend, the Zoops. Zoops, how you doing?
Who could be anything but ecstatic at a time like this? Honest to God,
Who has it better than us?
I don't know anybody.
Not me. That doesn't make any sense. Nobody.
No,
I don't know anybody either. Yeah. How you doing? What's new?
Rapturous. It's the best possible time of year. It's the time of year when the local baseball team makes a real run. It's the greatest thing in sports, in my opinion. So I'm flying high.
That local baseball team, if I could just double check, are they the American League East Division champions?
Reigning champions.
Now, did they also win the American League?
They did. They're the best team in the American League as well.
Best
that is
team
true.
In the American League, 94 and 68 or whatever. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Man, what a ride it was.
Awesome.
It's genuinely hard to believe where we were 6 months ago.
Crazy, man. On the precipice of greatness. If you can believe it.
It's all right in front of us, as I heard someone say. Someone told me that one time.
That's beautiful.
There's Aaron Boone on Talking Yanks. Is he on this week? I haven't dipped into Talking Yanks yet, but
I assume so.
That's a paid obligation.
What
do you think? Man, hey, eight in a row for the Yankees. You know, it's not their fault. They got beat.
Absolutely. If only there was any individual single games against any team they could point to that say if we done this single thing differently, we would have the bye right now and we'd be watching the Jays and Red Sox. But
had they only won the tiebreaker, they would be at home instead of preparing to start Garrett Crochet later this afternoon. We're recording live to tape Tuesday afternoon, Truth and Reconciliation Day here in Canada. So it's a great day to watch ball.
Yep.
But, a great day for a lot of other things too. Man, how about those damn Jays, huh?
Where do you even start? It's hard to tell the story of the season without telling like 10 different stories about 10 different guys. Really just an awesome consecutive day after day after day. They felt so different than any other team that I've followed that has had success, Blue Jays specifically, in that the real hallmark for me was they played hard every night, and every night they scrapped. There's very few nights I can remember that they just gave the game up. They kept games close and then ripped a few teams' hearts out pretty consistently, and I think they didn't ever really go on like a huge slide. They had the big winning streak in the middle of the summer, I think, is the thing that everyone is going to point to as like what won them the season. I think equally powerfully is they didn't go in the other direction really hard at any point, and I think it just seemed like they knew that if they kept games close, they could do what it needed to be done. And it turned out the thing that was so beautiful to me about this season is like we get to the end, it turns out every single one of those wins mattered. Like every single time they did that, it felt like they knew it mattered, and every single one of them was needed. Every single one of those improbable. There's so many moments you can go back to. The Jonathan Clase one for me against the Cardinals is like, I remember that. I think I came back to Twitter after being away for so long after that game to do a space and being like, I believe in this team. They seem completely different. The May they lost the game, but that Varsho grand slam, I always come back to as like, I couldn't believe it. They felt so different than the team the year before that. And even 2023, I think a little bit where like they earned that reputation of really faltering in the big moments. And what happened in the last week, notwithstanding, I think it was just a really beautiful year of like everything that felt important in the moment did end up being important. And there are like I said, it's hard not to tell stories of individual guys. There's so many guys individually I could go into this year that I was like, this was the story of the year. No, it's just awesome.
Yeah, the Bo pinch hit home run in Texas too was at bottom or top of the ninth. Go up 1-0. I mean, there are just so many of those games. It's hard to
walk-off nuke. Yeah, absolutely.
Gosh, yeah. There's a back-to-back home runs, I think, to tie it in the ninth one day. Man, I can't remember.
There was the one game. I can't remember who it was against, but it was Heineman and IKF were the heroes.
Yeah.
The flu.
There was a couple Heineman games.
Yeah, flew hard against the Dodgers. Like getting Ohtani and Betts with the bases loaded in a game they should not have won. That ends up like winning them the American League East. It's amazing, man. It's amazing. Tommy Nance has moments where people are tweeting out like, "I can't believe Tommy Nance is saving our season." There's so many, and the one that I keep coming back to over and over again that I get really like, the one I think that when I think about the whole year, the one that makes me the most emotional is George Springer, because I did the most work I've ever done in terms of like researching the team for that 40 and 30 series that I did. I think it was preseason 2023 or preseason 2020.
Couple years in a row, I think.
But preseason 2024, when I did the Springer episode, I put so much work into trying to find any evidence that he wasn't totally cooked, because he looked so cooked. And then he came out last year and was like, looked even worse in stretches. This year, he was like a top 3 hitter in the whole league, no qualifiers, no exceptions, no guys over this age, top 3 hitter in the whole league, the whole year. And then when you do go to the qualifiers for age, it's like one of the best seasons anybody's ever had at 35 plus. It was like Bonds, and I can't remember the other. It was like the most unbelievable year you've ever seen in your life. I'm so happy for him, because I'm so sure that there was points when he was the most cooked player in the league. He was like, I missed the window. The way that we all felt about this team, about it was like, oh man, they blew the good Springer years, and now Vlad's gonna walk and Bo's gonna walk.
They paid for the extra year.
They paid for the extra year, and like it must feel so good. I think about how vindicating and great it must feel to live through that for Springer. How much it must have meant. Like he was the guy absolutely leading the charge and leading the celebration on Sunday, and like deservedly so, in my opinion. There was so much of, not only did he regain a chance to get all those meaningful games and all that glory, so much of it was done on his back. There's so many games where he hits a home run when they need them to, or he's the guy who puts the game away, or he's the guy who gets them going. George's year, man, absolutely unbelievable.
Well, he looked cooked even in spring training this year too, right?
Yeah.
But
right.
I remember sending so many texts just over the course of the last week too, of just like they just need somebody to step up with George. All they need is like 2 people to do something here this week. Then they can get in and they can win the division. And it was Kirk, it was Barger, it was some of these guys over the course of the week and the year, but it was always George. No matter what, George was kind of the metronome of this whole thing. When Vlad is kind of low, when Bo's injured, when these pitchers are kind of going through their slumps and the bullpen's going through their slump in August, George was the consistent piece the entire time, and that was something you could hang your hat on.
Yeah, absolutely. Another guy that really comes to mind, and I'm like, it's incredible how it works out that he also had a huge weekend, is Lucas. If you go back, you talked before we came on air here about re-listening to the season preview. I can't imagine dropping us in that preview and being like, Varsho misses half the games and Santander does not play. And they win the East. It's like, who did they trade for? What happened? It's like Lucas
Bo's hurt too.
Lucas, Bo's hurt too. Like his body of work, I think, is enough to stand up, and like he is still top 5 in hits. Lucas and Clement play every day, basically. Sometimes they're leading off, sometimes they're in the 2-hole, and it's just like the way that those guys, it's so cliche. It's so hard to not turn into like a cliche machine about like playing the right way and all that stuff. But not maybe that, but like understanding that respect for the game of like Lucas, a guy who's 30, who never got a chance to stick, who the plan wasn't for him to stick this year, a AAA guy. Maybe you'll lose him on waivers at some point. Clement already is a waiver claim, a guy that bounced around. All these guys, it's as much as it is the Vlad and the Bo and the George and these top picks and these great guys, these other guys who are absolutely battling to prove that they're major leaguers. I think this was a real hallmark of the roster construction this year. Is the first half of this year, it felt like the battle for jobs when everything sort of fell apart saved them. Will Wagner was on this team. Alan Roden was on this team fighting. And look at Loperfido, right? He's the one who survives because he was the one who produced, and there was one they couldn't give up because he was playing so well. I think brilliantly organized and a bit of a blessing in disguise about 2024, where like they got a chance to take a breath on how the team was constructed and get some things that they could at least make moves. Because I can't imagine if they had to further empty the coffers last year in a last-ditch attempt to compete, they wouldn't have had what they have this year to get that competition, to get those wins, to scrap those things out. So, gosh, it's so hard to center in. I bounce around because there's so many guys on the offensive side that exemplify the year to me. It was like really a special team in a way that I don't remember ever really seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny they finally got the depth right, which I think is what you're getting at there, right? You know,
Yeah.
they make some moves at the end of last season, but they've gone into the last 3 different seasons with Lucas as the fourth outfielder, and I think we've probably done season preview episodes each of those seasons saying, man, I really don't know about Nathan Lucas. I really don't know if this is the fourth outfielder. Or is there a way we can upgrade? Is there a platoon guy we can look into? You know, the Ramon Laureanos and the Jesse Winkers and the guys you've talked yourself into every offseason, the Mark Cannas of the world, right?
Yeah.
And for it to be a guy like Nathan Lucas who's been here the whole time, but a guy you mentioned, Joey Loperfido, a different guy who I think of all the time is Davis Schneider. You know, a couple of these guys who were in the minor leagues at different points of the season. You know, Braden Fisher was in the minor leagues at the start of September and is a key bullpen piece for them. Mason Fluharty was in the minor leagues 3 weeks ago and is suddenly pitching in their 2 biggest leverage spots of the entire season when he goes 2 innings on Friday. And then he gets those 4 massive outs on Sunday too. I mean, when you look at that score line, right, 13-4, I think it undersells kind of exactly what the position of the game is, right? Because the bases are loaded. It's 5-4 with 2 outs in the fourth. That is a up for grabs ball game in every way, shape, and form of the world, right? The starting pitcher's been knocked out. The Rays are kind of battling back, right? They've got 3 straight zeros on the board. Now this is a ball game, and for Fluharty to come in and look like genuinely nasty for not only Sunday but Friday, and in that I remember that Dodgers game. Well, we just lost the provincial finals, and I was watching it on the ferry on the way home. Like they can't possibly blow this too. This would be the worst day of all time. And he strikes out Ohtani and Betts. Is that
He gets a ground out for Betts, but he strikes out Ohtani. Yeah,
insane. I mean, those are the kind of games that happen, right? Like that, and that don't happen usually. You know, you look at a team like last year where it seemed like everything broke wrong for them, and you know, injuries broke wrong, and certain pitching decisions broke wrong for them too. But the just getting one of those, not necessarily fluke seasons, because I think, you know, we look at a 162 game sample. And that stuff sort of starts to shake out, but like individually in certain games, these things they don't shake out your way all the time, and they happen to break right for the Jays a lot. The other thing too is like Davis Schneider, you know, has been a guy who's been up and down, has been kind of on the shuttle, and just wore it. You know, he went down to Buffalo. He said, I need to get better. And when I come back up, I'm going to take advantage of my opportunity. Joey Loperfido said, I want to be in Toronto. I'm happy to go to Buffalo. I want to keep working with David Popkins. Like, I'm going to get back up and I'm going to have my opportunity. These guys are buying into the culture. They're buying into and these all sound, you know, this is so much easier. It's so much easier to say
once
when
it
you're 94 and 68.
Once it works and you see it, it's hard to ascribe it to anything else, right?
Yeah. There's it seems like a consistent thought process throughout the entire organization. It seems like there's the hitting philosophies it's not necessarily as one size fits all as I think some teenagers on Twitter might like. There are certain contact guys and there's certain power guys and there's certain things that they're trying to do at different spots in the lineup. But man, does it ever feel like a team more than anything else?
Yeah, it really stuck out to me, I think, the last month of the season where they frankly weren't playing that well, but they kept sort of winning games. It was watching Baltimore, watching Tampa a little bit this weekend. I know they were in different strata of how important those games are, but you see how teams gave games away to them all year long. And we're just like, it's just those little things. It's just those little itty bitty margins that are really hard to quantify sometimes, where it's just like they ran out every close ball. They played as good defense as they possibly could. Guys moved around. As you said, guys were flexible. Schneider is such a great pull because he's a guy that early in the year I had given up on, and I was like, I couldn't handle it. I was like, horrible. The bats aren't looking good, not elevating anything in left field. And like you said, like went down and totally owned it and totally came back and was undeniable to the point that there are so many matchups where people are just screaming for him to be in the lineup because they're just like, this guy, all he does is hit. It doesn't really matter what we ask him to do. And I'm just so in agreement that it felt like a team in a way that is very rare. And it felt like they believe top to bottom. And I mean, once it starts happening, right? Once it actually starts happening and starts working, that's when it becomes, as you said, it's easy to do it when you go 94 and 68. But I think what happened this year is like you started paying off. The way that they were playing started paying off, and they were getting the rewards and sort of the classic, like you're respecting the baseball gods, and you are getting the bounces in response for it. It seemed like that's what was happening, as much as it's easy to read into like our team is being favored because they're doing it right. Just a really great year, and like really fun year to watch, and a fun team to remember fondly no matter what happens.
Well, and our team is being favored too, just because they're playing really goddamn well too. More than anything else, you know, they have the absolutely insane heater over the course of like June and July. I don't have the numbers up in front of me, but there's something like playing 600 baseball over the course of those 2 months. And it just sets you up to be in a position to do what they did at the trade deadline too, right? You know, you go get Louis Varland, you go get Shane Bieber, you go get these guys that have helped. Ty France is hurt right now, but helped this team for the time period where he needed them to be around, right? That's all that they asked from Ty France, and it's probably all they're going to get from Ty France. But for those couple weeks when he was a mainstay in the middle of the lineup and doing what he could to help the team win, that's what they needed. It was, I mean, it's just like you keep going name to name to name to name. A guy like Eric Lauer. Eric Lauer was in Korea last year, right? And they bring him up in the middle of May, and the team's kind of scuffling, and I think he comes in that first, I guess it's the third game in the Angels series, and pitches a little bit, and then they give him the piggyback on the Sunday in Seattle to sweep. Him and Jose Urena are pitching that game, and that. I think people forget they were like 16 and 18 going into that Seattle series, right? And it's a team that's on the precipice. Hoffman has that first blown save, one of my least favorite games of all year, where the two back-to-back Angels losses, the one where Ernie drops the ball at third base and has to go running after it in the outfield like a little leaguer, and then Clase misses the ball down left field, and it's just rolling around while the walk-off run comes in to score. Whether he would have thrown him out anyway or not is kind of, but just the visuals on those two, right? And they battle back. They win the third Angels game, go into Seattle, sweep what is clearly, I think, now a very good team as well.
Yeah.
It just kind of righted the ship a little bit. You know, they felt like they were in certain spots over the course of the year where you lose 4 or 5, or you lose kind of 6 of 8, and it's like, oh, okay, now we've got a battle back here, and let's go win 3 of the next 4. Just kind of stay even keel, and we have that big hot streak. It's coming. These things are all going to come together at some point, and it did. And then, all right, now we just got to hang on and kind of grind our way to the finish.
Yeah, there was certainly, you talk about sort of that area where things actually were pretty crap. There was the run against Tampa Bay and Texas, where they basically I think they scored like 5 runs or 6 runs the whole road trip over 6 games. It was just absolute anemic, and it was sort of like admitting it's probably a 500 team. They're probably never going to be consistent enough to be anything but a 500 team. And yeah, you're right. The Eric Lauer is another great shout. The what was it? Urena. That's funny. I completely forgot. Spencer Turnbull, right? Was the other
Turnbull? Yep. Yeah. Robinson Pena. I mean, you look at the names, right? And everybody does these things, right? It's YJ sent it to me this morning, yesterday, something like that. There's 58 names on that list, and
wow,
I will never ever get them. I mean, it's beautiful though, right? Like they got the pitching they needed, not just Lauer, but obviously Gausman was their guy all year, and Berríos and Bassett are the guys that they are. You know, first half Berríos is exactly what you need him to be. Bassett's kind of the length guy all year. And then like just everybody in the bullpen had their moments. You know, everybody in August was pretty garbage. But other than that, you had 2 guys kind of going at any certain point. Jimmy at the start of the year was great. You know, Hoffman at the start of the year when he was just going 2 innings against the Orioles every time, it seemed like, and it was just locking down extra innings, which seems like so long ago at this point. But that win, right? Whatever win or whatever 2 wins or whatever 3 wins, those are the difference between, you know, we can make fun of the Volpe errors or we can make fun of, but like the comebacks against Baltimore matter just as much too. That's the reason they have the bye as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's sort of equal. You don't want that feeling to fall into the wrong hands, right? Whereas so then it becomes you can complain about any loss you want to, but
yes,
it was the sum of how they were gutting these things out. I think that over the long time that worked for me. August was tough. August was, and there were some dark moments, but it all comes out. They win the American League East. It all comes out.
Yeah. Did you have was there, I mean, George, I guess is kind
Sure.
of the obvious answer, but was there like a favorite storyline that you had over the course of the season? Maybe one we haven't touched on?
Yeah, that's a great question. Bo, I feel like I feel like this was the year everyone sort of like right before he got hurt, of course. Everyone was like,
Yeah.
okay, we're all putting our swords down on the Bo Bichette fight. Let's all just acknowledge that he's been unbelievable this year in any big moment, in any clutch moment, anytime they needed a guy driven in, he was just doing everything at the plate. And for so long, part of this run, and I guess it still will be, is people be like, we never get Bo and Vlad both hot at the same time. We got glimpses of them both just being like consistently really good in the middle of this year, and it allowed all of the stuff we talked about, all the different guys who rode waves, all the different guys who were up and down. There were extended periods where it was Bo and Vlad this year that was like it was just such easy cooking. We're just like, oh, this is so easy. It's like
It's
the
just
both
double. Yeah. 2 runs in the
it's
first.
simple,
Great.
man. Simple stuff. I dug that. And then yeah, I mean Ernie Clement is one you sort of touched on. I do think he's a great example as well of just like did everything anybody asked him to do and did like everything in his power to make himself indispensable. I think he led I'm pretty sure I didn't check it at the end. He probably led the team in games played, right? He basically played every single day, and that's on a team with Vlad who plays a lot and a team full of
Yeah.
veterans. Like
Springer plays a lot.
that's pretty incredible. Ernie Clement, yeah, 157 games this year. All but not all of them
That is
starts, but
wild.
he appeared in all but 5 games all year long. That's less than a day off a month.
And playing
Like,
through at least admittedly a broken hand over the last 5 weeks, and it sounds like a lot more. You know, the
yeah,
Dan and Buck are kind of talking around it on the broadcast, and people kind of talk around it in certain places, but like he's clearly hurt, right? That,
yeah.
he fouls I was on Sunday, they're up 13-4 and he's in the game, and he fouls that ball off the instep of his foot, and it's like, come on, like we can't
Yeah,
even get through the last 2 innings of a blowout win to end the season and go pop champagne. And Ernie's out there
incredible.
hopping, and it's like, and like, of course he's not coming out of the game.
No,
Why? Even though it would mean absolutely nothing to come out of the game. It's just not. It's just not in his DNA at all.
really nice, really nicely. And a guy I think similar to Lucas, that I think when he first started appearing in the lineup, it was like such an obvious upgrade point. It's like, oh, we're gonna have to upgrade on this, or like, look how far they've fallen. Ernie Clement is playing a ton of games for this team, and this year, like, he was a plus, one of the best defensive third, like basically immediately replaces the Matt Chapman defense, like note for note, no problem. Anything hit that way becomes entertainment. Slots into second, plays some shortstop, like played first base a little
If
bit.
you're if you're a fan of defensive runs saved, he's the most valuable defender in the entire league, which admittedly would make me rethink my formula a little bit, just a little bit. But it
And
speaks to what he did.
absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah, it just sort of like really impressed there. But I think Davis is a really great call, but on your end, the only thing I don't have figured out at all is the starting pitching. You talked about the different guys that they used. Bieber felt like such a huge moment. It was like, oh, a real right. This is sort of the everything looks like a phantom till a phantom pulls up, sort of thing, of like he was like, oh, a clear guy like Gosman is sometimes, but as much as Gosman was the guy all year long, there was times early on when you could find him on the highest ERA list. He did have his struggles, and he's a guy that like just seems like there are certain games where you're like, oh, he's tipping. Like they know it. I don't know. That's my cope. I was like, he must be tipping and not just not good today. But it seemed like the pitchers, and it's probably helpful with the defense, but it seemed like I lost track of the amount of times that through 2 innings, I was like, oh, this guy's got nothing tonight. And then you'd get, and it was like, oh, 5-3, like 3/5. It's like, I guess, like, I don't know how they did
Quality
it.
start, right? It was the Jose
Yeah.
Barrios season the entire time. It felt like where he would give up 2 in the first, and then you'd be looking up in the sixth, and it would still be 2-2. It's like
Yeah.
I feel like they've run down 7 fly balls in the gap. I feel like Miles Straw has made a nice play coming in. Dalton Varsho made a nice play going back, and I don't really understand it. I'm not really clear on how any of this is working.
Yeah.
But here we are, yeah, with a quality start on the books.
And I was tracking it all year long. Brios ended up finishing second on the team in home runs behind George Springer, 26.
Where's Chad on that list?
Oh man,
Is
I
it
think
is
Chad
it possible the whole season changed when Chad left?
could be. Chad was 14, so he ended up one behind Hoffman. So that's 14, just
Yeah.
one behind Alejandro Kirk as well. That's Hoffman.
Late run for Kirk on that one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too. In the last game,
he left that one to the bitter end. Did Alejandro, who was great, who was, you know, and I've had my moments with Big Al in the
sure. What could you
past as
complain
well.
about? Yeah. What could you complain
Yeah.
about this year? I mean, this
Uh,
was the exact fear was the workload. 130 games.
yeah, 118 behind the plate, I think I saw, or something like that.
That's crazy.
It feels like I made that up. That feels a little high, but it's what popped into my head, so it's probably true. Heineman, you know, Heineman sucks. He's not good,
Sure.
but he was good for them, you know, for the time period in which they needed him to be, right, over the course of kind of the dog days of the summer.
He was one of the guys that Heineman was somebody that I thought was funny to hear opposing teams talk about, like broadcasting opposing teams. I remember there was the Yankees. Mike Francesa, believe it or not, was the person I was listening to. But it
Mike's
was
on.
the one when the Jays first laid that smackdown on them and pulled away to take the division. He was sort of talking about, you know, the Yankees. They can win 8-1. They can win 8-2. If they hit multiple home runs, no problem. And he was laying out all the different tools the Jays had in their toolbox. And one of them was like, they got a switch hitting backup catcher who hits 300. It's just like, it's
Fair
not
enough.
It's not one of those things that obviously is like, oh, you build the whole thing around because we have a switch. But it's like, it's such a funny little, it's like someone brings up, like, oh yeah, that is a weird little, the way that everything worked for them this year is sort of, they had all that, you're talking about just getting the depth right. They had lefties and righties and power and contact and switch hitting catcher who randomly hits 300. Like, it's just sort of these random little, these guys who can play any position, guys who hit the ball the other way, guys who hit singles, guys who, for Dalton Varsho, who only hits home runs the whole year and is the best center fielder going and getting it in the whole league. It's they built this little engine that could, man. It's great. It's great. It was a nice thing to see. And you sort of talked about maybe not the way that the Twitter GMs want it to be, but it's like, it is a nice reminder that you don't have to build everything the same way. It doesn't have to be every single thing is. There's a lot of room and a lot of success to be found in like putting the puzzle together the right way.
It's okay to be good at and get better at the things you're already good at too, right? Like I think a lot of people have talked about them adding Jimenez, who I had my moments with this year too, right? It's like, well, they already play defense, they already do these things well, and it's like, yeah, but they could do it great. They could be fucking amazing at these things, right? And Miles Straw, it's like, oh my god, why are they taking on Miles Straw's contract? And it's like, because he's going to play great center field for them while Dalton Varsho's out, and if he runs into enough stuff against lefties, then he's going to be a valuable piece of this team, right? He's a bench bat and he's a fourth outfielder and he's these sorts of things. But like, I mean, you don't get the Nathan Lucas season. Maybe Miles Straw is doing some of that for you instead, right? Like you don't get the Santander stuff that I think people were counting on. And it's like, okay, well, we don't have to replace 40 home runs. What we have to do is we have to replace some sort of margin here. Right?
Yeah.
We're going to go play defense instead. We're going to hit singles instead. We're going to do things this way instead. We don't have to just like swap power for power.
Beautifully said. Yeah, agreed totally. It's sort of it's what the WAR metric's supposed to be for, right? So we don't need to replace the 40 home runs. We need to replace the 3.5 wins, the 4 wins. Beautiful. What a year, man. Holy shit.
4 wins for Santander?
I have no idea. I have no idea how it's calculated.
I'd love to see it, man, because there are 4 more years on that deal. So I
unfortunately spent all that time telling myself they didn't need to sign him. They waited too long. The signing took too long. This is the biggest problem with the long off seasons, is that I have time to tell myself everybody sucks. And this year everybody did suck. So
or that they're good. Well,
yeah,
Nick Pivetta starting while we're on TV right now. 4 scoreless in the wild card game 1. That's okay. Doesn't matter. They're a good team. It's hard to relitigate Ross getting everything wrong this year, even though he did. Yeah. Even though he did. It's crazy. They're 20 wins better than last season, and they got just about everything wrong in the offseason. Max Scherzer and Santander and Jimenez in certain ways, and these sorts of things. Like Jimmy is nowhere to be found. Nobody's thought about Jimmy in months. Nick Sandlin on this team, by the way.
Yeah. Sliders.
Yeah, weird slot, probably. It's beautiful though, right? Like this is the not only is baseball season a marathon and a sprint and a slog and all these things all at the same time, but there are moments when you need things and somebody can give you that and then nothing else. You know, Eric Lauer over the last 6 weeks hasn't done anything for this team really. They've kind of, I found the usage a little confusing, but that what they needed from him was to bridge the gap until Santander was back and certain other, or sorry, not Santander, Bieber was back. And they were able to do that. You know, they needed some certain guys to step up at the start of the season while Scherzer was hurt, and they were able to do that. It's crazy. What a team. Jeez, man.
What a squad, man. What a squad. And now they get to sit around and wait. And now they get to sit down and watch Red Sox Yankees. That's so sweet. It's so sweet. I'm so glad they won the division, man. Even if it would have been a feel good year. It feels like it wouldn't have been all of a sudden with how tense the final week was, but like it feels like it would have been a feel good year either way if you stood back and looked at it, but it feels right to get to have the extra, like, fuck yeah, win the American League East, like, do it. It felt like they really grabbed it this week, and it meant more than I thought it would. I think I tried to tell myself, as like, well, they're in anyway, and didn't maybe think this was going to be a playoff team midway through the year, but they went out and they claimed it. They went out and dared to be great.
And you get to hang a banner, right? Like there will be, for the rest of the time that you go to the Sky Dome or to the Rogers Center, you can point up and say, Sam, you know, this team had these guys, and this was the most fun summer of my life. And these things were maybe 2015 up there too, you know, when they were just clobbering people, but
different way.
But you can tell these stories, right? These are memories, and I think it's obviously gonna suck when it comes to an end, unless it's with a parade, but just to hang on to that, you know, it's like we don't need to break up just yet. Like I'm gonna go off to university, but like let's just have this summer, you know. We don't need to break up.
Beautifully.
I won't text you. How about those Yankees? Man, they put everything they had into it. Won the last 8.
They really fucked up winning 8 in a row, because winning 11 in a row, winning 10 in a row, that's hard to do.
Yeah,
winning 10 of 11, that's unlikely. Winning
10
of
11 or 13 of 15, 15 of 16
seems really unlikely, dude.
Seems almost impossible. What a team. And they took the sting out of a lot of bad Blue Jays bullpen losses when you could flip over and Devin Williams was blowing something, or Bednar was blowing something. Fernando Cruz was blowing something. It was I had a running joke with a friend of mine. It was like, Yankees bullpen's the best show on TV. It's on every night. You can just flip over anytime you want to, and they've watched them blow a 3-1 lead. It was you know, things line up in baseball sometimes and not often. Right. But they line up often enough to kind of keep you coming back, and not to make this like a whole, you know, romantic about baseball podcast. But I mean, how can you not?
Here.
Yeah. But things line up in certain ways. Like that Yankees team is really good. Right. They hit the absolute shit out of the ball. Stanton's locked in. Judge is the best hitter probably of my lifetime. Like these things are breaking in certain ways, and then they just throw the ball away sometimes. Sometimes Jazz Chisholm gets doubled up on a pop fly to second base. A play I genuinely have never seen in my entire life.
It's funny. It's what the other side of the like playing the right way thing feels like, where you're just like, well, the Yankees are clearly playing the wrong way. Like it's clear, whatever. Like they shouldn't be allowed to win when they make mistakes like this. It's too dumb. It's too stupid. It
had to be the most frustrating 94 win team to be a fan of.
100%. And then almost like, of course they do. I'm sure there's plenty of like, don't let yourself get fooled. If you're a Yankee fan, you're just like, you're pissed off that they won 8 straight, because you're just like, I'm not gonna let myself believe this team's gonna win anything, even though it won't take long for it to be.
Yeah, it would have been better if they limped in and went on a run instead. And now you face Crochet tonight. You know, you're lined up. We were texting yesterday, and it was like, not only did the Blue Jays fans get to sit there and like, we had our victory lap day on Twitter yesterday, and we had our takes and we had our bookmarks and all those things. Yankees fans sat there and they said, man, we got to face Crochet. And then they woke up this morning and they had to do it all over again. They had to do it all over again. The exact same thoughts. And when it gets into your head like that, it's just like, it's insidious. It just sits there and it burrows in, and and you can't think about anything but, holy shit, how are we going to get a hit off this guy tonight?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm thrilled to not be playing wild card. I can't tell you how much I was dreading the thought of playing in the wild card again. Of just like, there's just no way it would have gone well. I refuse to believe it would have gone well. Nothing you can tell me.
Doesn't seem possible. It is funny, like the last week was really quite torturous, kind of down the stretch, especially as things started to slide the wrong way. If you on Wednesday night don't have a bunch of texts that you look back on and are maybe not ashamed of, but are like, yeah, that was a low moment for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're certainly different kinds of fans, but I mean, it's just like, it's funny, the reward, right, for being in these super torturous games is you get to play more torturous games, right? We get to go into a best 3 of 5 against a very good team, whoever that is, right?
Yeah.
Red Sox or Yankees. But the other reward is that you don't play baseball, right? There's no Blue Jays. The thing I've built my social calendar around for months now is like off the air this week. It's just it totally vanished from my life whatsoever. And that, like, I would love to watch the Blue Jays tonight, but also I'm so happy I don't have to.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely right. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I wish that I've been begging for this to be what they do for so long. I can't remember. I lost track of how many years you got to watch Tampa Bay completely undeservedly win 100 games and win the American League East, or Boston when it's like, I think that Red Sox team sucks, and then they win 98 games and win the division. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Baltimore pops up out of nowhere and wins 100 games, and the Yankees, it doesn't matter what the team looks like. At the end, you're like, oh, the Yankees won the division. It's not a surprise, and they win the AL or something. I was like, the Jays never get to do it. They never get to have the undeserved season. They never get to have the undeserved AL East title. And we got one that feels like everybody else is going to think we didn't deserve it. And we know it's like, no, they just played great over and over again.
You had to be watching, right? You had to be, you weren't with us shooting in the gym.
That's right. So I think that's another part of what makes it so satisfying. It was like, it just felt like we deserved our turn.
On that season preview, you just said, we're waiting for our chance to be that fraud team, right? And the beauty of it is they're all fraud teams.
That's right.
There's not a team out there. The Red Sox can't hit, Yankees can't field, Cleveland and Detroit, like they were texts like playing the Central. I was like, I couldn't believe that some of these teams the Jays were playing in September. It's just like, how did the Astros ever win? How have they ever won a baseball game? How did they do this? You're just like running into outs here, taking really bad at bats, bringing in relievers who are terrible, closers who are, not great.
Some things make us all equals.
Yes. Well, actually, it's kind of unequal because just about every American League team, I think, has a big dog reliever they feel good about. And I'm not sure. We can save. I'm gonna pod with YJ's. YJ's was
you guys
midday on a Tuesday, which is kind of crazy. That feels like the only time he'd be available. But I'll do some sort of season preview with him, hopefully later this week. But
totally driving.
Man, he's always driving.
He loves to drive.
Yeah, it's one of his favorite things to do. What a year!
What a year, man! What a year!
I can't believe they did it.
I love it. My favorite things to have happened in quite some time.
Did you think there was any chance on Wednesday night that they would be in this position?
Yeah. Yes, I did. I did. All along, I didn't think they were going to collapse and lose at all. I tried to be very confident, especially during the Rays series. Like, I knew that I was like, all day Sunday, I was like, they're winning big. I woke up Sunday being like, this will be a game where some shit reliever that Tampa is going to cut will pitch 4 innings and give up 10 runs. And that didn't quite end up happening.
Pretty close.
Like you said, there was moments where it was very much in doubt. Friday and Saturday. I also didn't think the Yankees were going to lose. Friday and Saturday. Friday, as you mentioned.
Friday.
If you didn't have text midday, it's like people were texting me on Friday that I never hear from. That would just like, this person's talking about baseball with every single person they know. Clearly,
anybody in their text messages, they're searching names in the contacts just to see who will reply at the right time.
1:45 in the afternoon. It was awesome.
And then Hoffman comes in and it's like, hey, you just like, there's 8 innings of garbage, right? Of just like shoveling this garbage into my mouth. Doesn't matter to me. I'll keep drinking it. And then Hoffman comes out and 2 of the first 4 pitches go to the backstop, and you're
Oh my
just like,
God.
and not to be like, there was a whole week of umpires, is it
Yeah.
rigged? Does the league have it out for the Blue Jays and these sorts of things? And Hoffman gets like 6 of the worst calls you'll ever see in
Oh
that
my
inning.
God, yeah.
He's getting down and away. He's getting
Yeah.
up. He's getting check swings. It was
True.
unbelievable. It was like every break bounced back in the 9th inning for Hoffman, and we still white knuckled our way home.
People have the audacity to post like Hoffman 0.97 ERA in September. I was like, no, I'm absolutely not. I'm absolutely not taking that stat at face value.
No.
Shame on you. Shame on you. Hoffman
was-
bounce back. I do not agree with that assessment.
Yeah, that's a watch the games number if you ever seen one before. Yeah, it was a beautiful and not that Tampa Bay was like, they were still like Friday and Saturday, Sunday obviously they mailed in, right? But Friday and Saturday you're still playing ball, right? This is still like, these stats still count. I got to go to arbitration. I got to do these things. Like, we're gonna win some games. I could have a big hit here.
I got to hit 300.
And there, that was like, we're doing this. We're gonna pull Yandy.
The game's gone. It's fine. The game's gone.
I mean, 300 hitter, I guess, fair enough. That doesn't happen very much anymore. One of my favorites was I guess they offered Brandon Lau. They said he could sit any of the 3 games and he could pick, right? Coming down the stretch, and he picked Sunday, which is like, of course, awesome. Yeah. I'm just gonna go get trashed on Saturday. This is like, this is over. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think I'll end my season early.
Yeah, let me just take off at 1 o'clock on Friday if that's cool with you guys. Man, it was a white knuckle to the finish, 5-4. I think the Fluharty strikeout was the moment that kind of everything released. I was fist pumping in my own living room, sitting alone, and it made it all worth it. I did. Are you superstitious, Soups?
I don't think I am until something happens where it feels superstitious, and then I become hyper superstitious. So I try to present like I had the tweet. I tweeted out, "See you Saturday" after the Kirk home run. And I tried so hard to stand on business, and then over the course of half an hour, I was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna be responsible for it." I was like, "Okay, fair enough." I was like, "I'm not superstitious, but if everybody else is gonna be superstitious on my behalf, what does it harm me?" So is that an answer? I guess the answer to that is yes.
It's good enough. It's good enough. So if you're a veteran of the Fangraphs playoff odds graph like I am, Sunday night Sunday afternoon they win, and then Red Sox Yankees Sunday night. Will Warren gives up 6 in the and I'd been sort of hemming and hawing about buying plane tickets and about coming out to Toronto. I haven't seen a home playoff game. I've been on the road. I've been to certain stadiums. I've been in Toronto in playoff games and these sorts of things, but I haven't been in the building for a home playoff game. So my lovely girlfriend has been on me for weeks about just buy the tickets. Sunday nights they go up 6-0, and I was like, all right, I will buy the tickets. And if you look at the Fangraphs graph, that is the very tip point of where the odds went. It's like 98.2% they're going to win the division. This is absolutely no problem. And then it's a ski hill all the way down. And it's like, I'm not a rich man. I bought the non-refundable plane tickets. They're going to be in. First of all, they're going to lose the wild card series if they go into it. And then even if they win the wild card series, they're going to be in the Bronx. I could watch that on TV here. Could have saved that money anyway. So everything was going downhill, and then
that's awesome.
Yeah, four straight to win it. It's beautiful.
Thank God
they went out their way, man. If the Yankees had lost, it wouldn't have felt the same.
No, yeah, the tiebreaker. It ended up mattering more than anything.
Why earn the tiebreaker if you're not going to use it?
And how good was Vlad? For all of the things you can say about Vlad all year long, killed the Yankees the whole year.
Yeah.
Killed the Yankees all year long.
Yeah, they needed. Springer killed the Yankees. Yeah, Jimenez, Canada Day off Max Fried.
Yeah. Bo Vlad and Springer killed the
things,
Yankees.
Man.
It's great.
Canada Day game. Was that the third game of the sweep, or anyway, they sweep the Yankees in Toronto. Another just like unbelievable moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. What more can you say?
Didn't look back. They didn't look back. Was it July 4th or July 5th? They took the division lead and didn't look back.
Yeah, they were down a half game quite a few times over.
True,
the course of the
technically.
last week.
Technically, they lost the lead Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, the Yankees finished first. Zoobs, any final thoughts?
Go Jays, man. I am enjoying Tuesday and maybe part of Wednesday until I guess game 2 of that series is underway to not worry about the ALDS too much. I want one more day of enjoying it, and then I can already tell at the moment we get an inkling of who is going to win that Yankees Red Sox series. I'm going to shift into ball of nerves. I'm going to be a bundle of horrible nerves.
Full blown panic.
Yeah.
It would be great if that series went 3. If the baseball gods are listening,
I wouldn't complain. How can MLB not want more Red Sox Yankees in the playoffs? Get it on it, Manfred.
Have they announced the umpires? Is CB Buckner doing the game?
Now that I think about that, of course it's going 3. Red Sox Yankees. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Come on now. Put the
prime time Thursday night.
Extra innings, maybe. Every reliever gets used. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe a hit by pitch in certain place. No broken bones, just like sore. 4 days of soreness. That'd be fine. I don't. You hate to win that way, right, Zoops?
I love to win that way. I love to win that way. I love a what if. It's awesome.
Oh man. Okay. Well. Thank you very much for making the time to do this.
My pleasure.
It is always a pleasure speaking with you. And I will call you on my drive home probably each of the next 3 days.
Absolutely. And I'll say this about the Red Sox and Yankees. Boy, they better win the ALDS. Don't let the Jays get out of the ALDS is my thought. Don't let them win in one series. Because if they win one series and they get that feeling and they eliminate how the last month felt and they get we can win playoff
ball
games.
Rolling downhill.
Look out.
That Friday we got Petey. Saturday we got Shill.
Seattle, which is suddenly like, it's one of those things where every part of Seattle's dislike of the Jays feels completely warranted, and it probably felt so good to get the 8-1 comeback. Now we got a budding actual rivalry here. I need it.
They really, as somebody who's been to quite a few of those games, they really do not like Blue Jays fans.
Why would they? I now know a lot of Mariners fans from my friendships in Vancouver. I can't imagine being on the other side of that and not hating the Jays, especially there are people in Vancouver who really resent the Candace team moniker because they like the Mariners so much.
You're very far away.
I think it's great, and it's great to be the cuck trade rivalry where it's like
nice to be the villain.
You're not the biggest rival for the team that thinks they're your biggest rival, or what it is. They're not your biggest rival. Yeah, exactly right. There's a bunch of it's like the Maple Leafs Senators thing. It's like the Senators' biggest rival is the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs' biggest rival is not the Senators. It's the Canadians, and then it's the Bruins, and then maybe it's one of those great things. So it's gonna be great. I'm gonna cherish every game. As you said, your favorite show is off the air this week. The playoffs brings that oh my God, could be no more 2025 Blue Jays games after this. You know what I mean? It's
Tuesday, as of Tuesday.
So I'm gonna try to enjoy it, take a moment and breathe, shed some tears, do some mushrooms.
Go into a game?
Doubt it very highly. Maybe, but I feel like I would have to already know, don't you think?
World Series a long way away. You got time to plan.
That's true. My birthday will be around there too. My 40th birthday. What I want for my 40th birthday is the World Series.
Jays, baby.
Jays, baby.